Hi, what's up everyone? I'm gonna be reviewing a video of a guy who's gonna try to get his teeth fixed. And at the end of this video, I will show you evidence that your teeth are not genetic, as in inherited. And that's because your jaw's development is not inheritable. This should be needless to say, but unfortunately it's not today.
These are my teeth. Growing up, I've never been confident in them. If I look back on old photos, it's rare to find one where I actually showed them when I smiled. And throughout the years, people have commented on my teeth, both online and in person, calling them yellow and telling me to brush them. My teeth genetics just aren't the best.
And this is exactly why I wanted to review this video. It's because he said teeth genetics, even though there's obviously no such thing. This was suggested to me on YouTube. I only watched it up until this part, and then I thought I gotta make a video about it because people really need to be aware that, of course, there's no such thing. Your teeth, of course, are inherited the same way your whole body is, in the sense that you are the creation of another biological being. That's clear. But the color of your teeth can obviously not be inherited. I think that even he understands that. It's only because of the food that you eat. But the way the jaw and the teeth will develop is also not inheritable. There's just no such thing. It's all up to the food that you eat.
Having a big fear of dentists as a kid didn't help either. But now that I've gone through other
Understandable. Dentists in our minds means pain. That's what we associate it with. Because there should be no such thing. We shouldn't have these teeth problems in the first place. Jaw problems, really.
Challenging journeys like getting rid of my acne and transforming my body, I finally feel ready to push past the fear and work on my teeth. So I went to the best dentist I could find in my city to get a consultation. And it turns out my teeth are in worse shape than I thought.
You have 4 teeth basically that have cavities. 2 of them are pretty significant. 1 of them is really, really close to the nerve. Also have like all this discoloration, multiple colors.
Yes, and this is all due to food, obviously. Cannot be inherited. This is clear because of what Wesley Price alone discovered when he looked at populations that ate natural food. They had all straight teeth and they were healthy. No teeth problems whatsoever. When he went to the same people, so the same genetics in that sense, but they ate different food, they all had cavities, malformed jaws, teeth, and everything, just because of food. It's all food, completely. Cannot be inherited.
Swiss children living in modernized districts had widespread tooth decay, facial and dental arch deformities, and greater susceptibility to disease. Their diet: refined flour, a high intake of sweets, chocolate, sweetened fruits, and a reduced use of dairy products.
How long do you think it'll take from start to finish?
So maybe like a year and 3 to 4 months.
Time's ticking. Let's get started. There will be 3 phases to my teeth transformation. The first one, the hygienic phase. I got a cleaning and got rid of as much of the bacteria and plaque off my teeth as possible. Boom, here we go. That's the end, step 1. Thank you so much.
Well, the bacteria is actually not something that you should be getting rid of, but that's what dentists believe nowadays. They also believe that cavities are formed because of bacteria. It's really super strange. Makes 0 sense.
I appreciate it. Then I came back for another appointment to get rid of my 4 cavities. It took around 2 hours till the job was done, and I got to see the aftermath of how much of my tooth was removed. But at least my teeth are...
Yeah, they also always remove way too much. Even as a child, you have a small cavity, they remove half of your tooth and fill it up with mercury back in the day. Maybe not nowadays.
They're all cavity free now, and there's just one final step to this phase: getting my wisdom tooth out. If I want to straighten my teeth, I had to get at least one of them out to create space in my mouth. I watched all...
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, a lot of people nowadays say the dentist convinced them to get rid of the wisdom teeth. I never had this in Latvia, where I come from. Dentists don't do this. I know that in Western Europe, Latvia is in Eastern Europe, by the way, in case you don't know, they do actually do that. They remove the wisdom teeth of children. I think that everybody in my school had their wisdom teeth. There's no such thing going on there. At least when I grew up in the 90s. Maybe nowadays it's different, who knows. But yeah, there's this very big push. And then when you don't have these teeth here, I still have them, of course. Maybe supposedly the way your face looks and your jaw kind of changes. Maybe only slightly, but a lot of people seem to report that. It would make sense because you have more space. The teeth here are missing. Where are they? Here, exactly here. It would make sense that your face can slightly even change.
All my friends go through it in high school, and I was just praying that I wouldn't have to do it too. And I guess the day has finally come. So we have to take that one out before I can put in the Invisalign.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous, I gotta say, but we gotta do it.
I gotta say that he generally doesn't look healthy. He has dark eye circles and under eye bags.
All right, we're done. The tooth is out. I can't move this side of.
Yeah, he's just not on a good diet. That's it. Yeah, that's the biggest problem here. Many indicators of that.
My face at our talk.
All right, now we have phase 2, Invisalign. If all goes well with this phase, my teeth should go from looking like this to this in 8 months.
Officially here is the best part, putting on Invisalign. This is where a lot of the results are going to come from. Fixing that crossbite, fixing this canine, it's a bit too far out, and then straightening my bottom teeth.
During the appointment, I had these weird buttons put on my teeth. I guess the Invisalign trays need them to be able to grab on.
I have said this in a Telegram video of mine, but I actually really wish that we never invented braces, and there's a very good reason for this. We wouldn't actually have these teeth problems if we never did that. And here's the reason for it. If over 50% of people on Earth, and at this point it would be more like 80-90% of people, would have crooked teeth, then we would think about what's causing it. We would see that some people don't have the problem, which would be very few today in 2025. And then we would think, what are they doing differently? How can we fix it? How can we imitate what they are doing so that our children don't have the same problem? And the only conclusion that people would come to is diet. They were breastfed longer, were fed a lot of animal foods, eggs, a lot of fat, maybe even liver. And people who eat organs don't have any kind of teeth issues. Everything develops the way it should. And that would be the very easy, logical conclusion that we would come to. Now with braces, who knows? You can kind of fake it and imitate straight teeth the way they should look like. You still don't have just as much space, but you just want to look good. That's understandable. I get it. I get why people use braces. It's just that if we didn't have them, then we would fix the core problem, which is malnutrition. Now we go on covering up the symptom. Same as with acne. Instead of fixing the diet, women use makeup, and some guys even nowadays. Instead of simply fixing what you eat. Everything would be fixed, all the problems. We just cover up the symptoms constantly. You cover it up by using braces and makeup. That's just 2 examples out of many. We are constantly dealing with the same problem, malnutrition, bad food.
Onto my teeth and actually shift them into alignment.
Got the next Invisalign, and now all I have to do is wear this and wait. And hopefully in 8 months, my teeth are going to be perfectly straight. I hate this so much.
Because you see what's going to happen now? This guy gets braces. Then he has children. They eat the same food as him, or even worse. They need braces again. How can you fix the problem? And generation after generation, it's only going to get worse.
Hurts so much.
I had to
By the way, I'm going to show you what I mean at the end of this video, as I said.
take them out every time I ate. And then before I could put them in, I had to brush my teeth again.
When you're someone trying to build muscle and eat at least 3 times a day, that gets pretty annoying.
I was also more self-conscious than ever.
Today we did a calisthenics meetup with Chris Haria. These 2 buttons on my canines are like pretty obvious, at least to me. And I just can't.
I don't think that anybody cares, man. Nobody even looks at teeth, really. And even if they probably had braces themselves, the chances are very likely. So nobody is going to care about that.
Help but think of them as I'm talking to people.
and I try my best not to show it. Just, I don't know, I'm self-conscious about it.
I not only had a lisp, but now I have these weird buttons on my teeth as well as 2 rubber bands in my mouth that were very visible.
My teeth have definitely shifted quite a bit since the beginning. I've already been feeling more confident with my smile. Last night was the first time I looked in the mirror, I smiled, and I was like, wow, my teeth are actually like super straight now.
After a full 8 months of the
Yes, what happens after you use braces is that your teeth become straight, or at least it gives you the illusion that they kind of look like the way they should look like. Not really, of course, because your jaw stays the same, but it looks better. There's no doubt about that. It gives people the illusion that the jaw developed the way it should, basically. Only the teeth give the illusion. But he's gonna go on and do the same to his children, and the problem won't be fixed.
treatment and not missing a single day of wearing my retainer.
Did you also notice that the dark eye circles got worse? Or was it just me? I was just looking at the dark eye circles thinking, light, a bit darker, darker, even darker, darker at the end.
Week 33. I cannot believe it's already week 33.
It felt like it was just yesterday that I walked out of that door right there with my Invisalign freshly put on, absolutely dreading having to wear it for the next 33 weeks. And here I am, at the end of week 33, so ready to get these off. Let's go inside, let's get it done. My teeth went from looking like this to this.
Looking good, yeah. It's cool to see without the buttons. The buttons made them look less symmetrical, but now looking at it without them, it looks so much more even. It's crazy.
It's time for phase 3, the final touches. My teeth are super stained and yellow, so let's whiten them. After one 45-minute Zoom treatment and then 2 weeks of at-home whitening trays, they went from looking like I was drinking coffee every minute of the day to this. But there's still one step left. As you can see, this part of my teeth didn't get white. And that's because when I was 12, I chipped my 2 front teeth while working out on one of those door frame pull-up bars. So up until now, I've just had fillings there, and it's been around 6 years since I got them last done. So we redid the fillings to perfect my smile. And with that final appointment done, it's time for the reveal.
So this is what my teeth looked like before. You can see, not the best, right? And here's what they look like now.
Yeah, looks a lot better. Gives you the illusion that you ate different food, basically, when you were developing. Yeah, kind of. It's just that it will make the problem even worse overall for everybody on this earth, because we are treating the symptom, not the problem. Also, I would say that they look a bit too white, but whatever. Better too white than too yellow. Yeah, I will agree with that.
I've now had my new teeth for several months and I can't stop smiling. Like, I just want to smile all the time. This wasn't easy, but I can confidently say it was 1,000% worth it. Thank you to Dr. Ilona at Inspire Smiles for helping me with this transformation.
Hopefully nobody's gonna learn anything from what I'm about to show you, because that would mean that there's people out there who actually believe that you can inherit your teeth and the way your jaw develops. But if there is somebody out there, then really just look at this. And also watch my black pill video. A lot of that video is about your development, the bones, the skull specifically. I will link that one. That's very important, but if you have seen it already or you're not convinced yet or whatever the case, then you can check this out. This is an examination of a skull from very long ago, and we can clearly see that this human being had I would say perfect teeth and a jaw. The teeth look perfect because of the development of the jaw, of course. This is something that we don't really connect today. We think bad teeth, okay, bad teeth. There's no real thoughts when it comes to jaw development. If anything, oh, genetics, magical genetic lottery. Oh, this guy has straight teeth, I don't. I had that fucking genetic lottery, just didn't hit it this time. It's so dumb. Yeah, so here we have, let's see, grandfather who went to England as a young man with his children, and then the grandchild, that's the grandchild on the right, obviously. And he was born in an industrialized society. You can see a progressive reduction in the forward dentofacial growth of the 3 generations. Of course, here he has a beard, but you can still see that his jaw developed differently. And the difference between the next generations is also obvious. As shown with the cats, it just gets worse and worse after the generation. So of course you could say that it's the genes partly also, but what you gotta understand is that the child could have had a better developed jaw than the father if he would have gotten better food. Maybe, possibly not as good as the grandfather, because you again need to go through generations to get back to that state. But it would be better. And then for the next generation, it's even better and better. In that sense, yes, you can say that that part is inherited because you can just do the best you can possibly do. But if somebody is going to be fed liver and organs and blood and everything, it's going to develop super good. We cannot possibly say how good exactly. We can just look at the examples of degeneration or nourishment and then see the difference. And there's many examples of this, but nobody can certainly say how exactly it's going to look like. This is from the Weston A. Price book. These are so-called primitive people from New Zealand, as in natural people living the way they naturally should, eating what they naturally should, and so on. And as you can see, they have great teeth, and that's because the jaws developed the way they should. And here we have also people from New Zealand, but the Europeans who moved there, eating their so-called food. And this is the result. Was it inherited? No, it was only the food. It's still the same today. Because this is what happens when you don't live primitively, as in naturally. Primitive is good. It's good if you call something primitive. That means natural, essentially. I could go on and on showing you evidence that your teeth are not genetic, inherited. That should be crystal clear at this point. It doesn't matter how your teeth looked like before you had braces. It's not gonna be the same for your children as long as you feed them natural food. What's interesting about all of this is that Weston A. Price focused on the teeth and the jaws simply because he was a dentist. Of course, he also understood later on that it can be used as an indicator of your overall development. It's not that simple. Not every part of the body is gonna develop exactly the same way, of course, but usually it's gonna be an indicator of at least something. Typically, if you don't have enough building blocks when you're developing, it's not as if you're not only gonna have them for your jaw. That would be strange. That would make no sense. What exactly your body is gonna be using for this and this part of the body can never be said 100%. That's why there's always gonna be a difference. But typically when a toddler's and a 4 or 5-year-old child's whole body is growing, and that of course obviously includes the skull and the jaw, if it doesn't have enough of these so-called building blocks, nutrients, call it whatever you want, simply natural food, that's what's lacking, then it's not going to be growing as wide, as thick as it should, because it literally just doesn't have these building blocks. And then it's still gonna grow, just not exactly the way it should be growing. That's it. That's what's going on today. There are no teeth genetics. I hope that it's really clear now. Thanks for watching.